Just like any scam, vouchers may sound good, but once you dig into the details, you realize they're ripping you off. I say all this because they can put as much lipstick on this pig as they want, but at the end of the day, it's still a pig.
Newsflash, we shouldn't be surprised about this information, as it is not new.
A voucher is any program that takes our hard-earned tax dollars out of our underfunded public schools and gives them to unaccountable private schools. It's not a popular idea, and that's why voucher proponents have had to come up with a bunch of new slogans to sell their scam. Let's walk through each one. First, vouchers are not school choice. In fact, it's the school's choice because private schools can deny admission to any kid for any reason they want. They can deny admission because of academics, because of behavior, because your parents don't make enough money, or because you're not the right cultural fit. Second, vouchers are not educational freedom. Private schools don't have to provide special education services. They don't have to provide transportation. And the voucher doesn't even cover the full cost of tuition at most private schools, which is why in Arizona, 85% of their voucher program went to subsidize wealthy kids who were already in private school to begin with. And that's not even acknowledging the fact that 151 counties in Texas don't even have a private school. Last, but certainly not least, vouchers are not parental rights. In fact, parents give up rights when they go to a private school. Unlike public school boards, there is no accountability, no transparency, no democracy.
The Catholic schools that you oversee, what standard do they have to meet in terms of student outcomes, student achievement, in order to keep their accreditation? That would be, every public school district comes in, be able to tell you that.
Yeah. That's not my day-to-day job, is what I'm telling you.
You're the principal, sir?
I am.
Yeah.
So what is that standard that you have to meet to keep your accreditation?
I couldn't give you the exact score of a student. So, if you want exact scores, so students have to be, to be able to pass, students have to meet a passing score of 70 percentile.
So the student or the school has to be in the 70th percentile?
That's the student to be promoted to the next.
Sure, and I understand that. How many of the students have to meet that standard for you to keep your accreditation?
I don't think we have a requirement of how many students have to meet that.
Okay.
As far as
I want to make sure the committee heard that.
And the origins of the so-called voucher movement has its root in something that is so American that I'm surprised this speaker forgot to mention it. And that feature, that so American feature of the voucher program is nothing other than racism. That's right. I know you all are saying, why does Mondale make everything about race? And all I would say to you is that I didn't make it about race. White people did when they refused to desegregate schools. That's right. These voucher programs have their origins in the anger that good white folk felt after the Supreme Court of the United States mandated and said that separate but equal was not equal at all as it pertains to public education. And when Brown decision happened in 1954, racist white folk would have rather close all public schools than to integrate one of them. And in southern states, in a lot of cases, that is exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. They created and passed laws that would defund and or close any school that attempted to integrate. They created private white schools known as segregation academies, and they also created white-only vouchers. That's right, white-only voucher programs out of public funds that provided and subsidized segregation. This didn't just end in the 50s though, and in the 1960s, because by 1969, there were more than 200 private segregation academies in southern states, and they were all funded by programs that incentivized white students to leave any public school district that had desegregated. The only disappointing part about this press conference we just watched is that the speaker failed to mention that school vouchers in this country were created as a diversion of public funds to private schools as a direct result of white people refusing to integrate. And as these so-called advocates for parent rights and voucher programs go around citing Milton Friedman as the visionary of these voucher programs, I would say his words in 1955 sounded ridiculous. And in today, judging by all the horrid information we have, it not only sounds ridiculous, it absolutely is ridiculous. Absolutely is ridiculous. So regardless of party When I hear people advocating for school vouchers and couching it in parent rights and the benefit of the child, I only hear one thing, and that is let us grow the economic and educational distance between poor Black kids and those of white folk, all while couching it in deceptive language. Keep in mind, segregationists also used the same language when they said it was state rights, which is why they fought the Civil War, when in actuality we know the state right they were fighting for was to keep slaves, make Black people be slaves for the rest of eternity. That is not state right. That is slavery. And it is not parents' rights or looking out for the benefit of children when we are just segregating schools more only to harm Black kids. So this scheme of words, this trickery of politicians and others who advocate for voucher program shall be criticized just as any other who push false racist narratives based on this idea that does awesome damage to my community and the entire Black community. Voucher programs are nothing other than a continuation of a Jim Crow relic that is still working to serve the same purpose, and that is to segregate and desolate the lives of Black people. Those of us who stands with our back and live with our backs against the wall on a consistent basis. Saying it biblically, it is doing harm to the least amongst us. So where do you stand on voucher programs? I am Mondale Robinson. Have a good day, not before you think about it.